So here we have the third model, and this one looks pretty good. And at first glance, I think it looks pretty good. There's a lot of interesting texture. So the difficulty for this particular object is a little bit higher than the others, because you can see it has all these little veins and things like that that are tricky to get into. Okay, so and if you're not careful, what ends up happening is you'll see that you basically lose some of the edges on very sharp or very thin objects when you're creating a photogrammetry model. Also, some of these things down here, if there's any shine, which this one is rusty enough that it's not too bad. There's enough you know, sort of broken texture and rust and chips and that sort of thing, that it's a pretty good subject for photogrammetry. Now, in terms of the photographs, if I back out here, you'll notice that there are not a lot of photographs. In fact, there's only like 12 photographs. So it's a little shy to me on, you know, on the photographic side. There could have been a few more photos. And if you look at the photos, so even though they cover the entire object sort of in a circular or ring fashion, which is really great, there should have been a second set that was closer. And if you look at the images down at the bottom here, you'll notice that the object is really, really far away. Let me bring one up here. So, I mean, the photo itself is crisp. I mean, it looks pretty good, and the lighting is decent, so there's not a lot of harsh shadows and that sort of thing. So I think all that is okay, but the photo is far away. So you've got, what, not even, I don't know, this might make up maybe, you know, 15% of the entire image. So use the field of view and get in closer and fill this from corner to corner with this particular object. I think that would have helped. Now let's look at the image or the camera settings from the EXIF data. And what we have here is we've got an F number of 5.6. So that's low, but because we're farther away, we're not getting close, we don't run into any sort of depth of field issues. Exposure time is 1/5 of a second. That's okay. You know, if you're using a tripod or whatever, it should be fine. It looks like that the ISO is set at 250. You know, always 100 or less is usually my starting point, and then I move up from there if I really need to, or like if I didn't have a tripod. But these are okay. I mean, the photos, if you look at them, I think they look decent enough. But when we go back to the model, let's take a look at the mesh. Whenever you have a textured model, it's always very deceiving. So now when you look here, this is where we start running into problems. And you'll see here we got some issues with the mesh here. And just like I was saying before with these veins, okay, it causes some problems here. You can see there's some drop off in the mesh. It couldn't reconstruct some of the edges of these veins. So this could have been improved with some photos, I think, that were closer up. Overall, it's not too bad, and yeah, it's a pretty good model when you look at it with the textures on, for sure. So, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say this model is I would say about a 6. I don't think. I mean, I think there were some things here that easily could have been improved and could have given you a much better quality image in terms of the geometry, just by taking an extra set of photos closer up.